Hey, what is up mortals, it is Ren here and welcome to the first part of what if Orochimaru never attacked the Hidden Leaf Village. Just wanted to greet you guys by just saying sit back and relax, you're in for a treat, and so we begin. The sand crunched under Orochimaru's feet as he approached the 4th Kazekage. They designated this remote spot in the desert for a meeting to discuss the attack on the Hidden Leaf. Orochimaru, you're late. I hope your preparations are complete for your sake. Orochimaru smirked and tilted his head, trying to draw attention away from the sword he concealed, attached to his back. Of course, Rasa. I know better than to disappoint a Kage. He looked up to see about 5 Chunin, watching them from an elevated rock formation behind the Kazekage. I hope you can trust your backup. Good help is so hard to find lately. As he reached behind his back, he froze as he felt his arm being restrained. Spinning around, he was met with a floating eye in the air, peering at the sword. Gold dust was sprouting from the ground and wrapping around his wrist. Rasa raised his hand, outstretched at Orochimaru as the gold sand began to surround him. It seems as if only one I cannot trust is you, Orochimaru. And I shouldn't be too careless considering your reputation. Orochimaru spun his wrist, cutting the sand away from his hand, then slicing the rest of it away from his body. Very clever, Rasa. But what will you do now? Your shinobi are starved of missions, and you need me to destroy the leaf in order to solve that. I suppose you could fight me here and now, and collect the bounty. That would help your pathetic village for a while. Orochimaru said, licking his lips. He knew that the Kazekage stood no chance against him, especially now that he had learned Edo Tensei, and could bring back the past Hokage into the fight. No, Rasa replied. You're wrong. I can sell the information I already know about you to the Leaf, about the Sound Village and the location of your hideout, and even your plan to kill the Hokage. Of course, I will act as if this was a string operation by the Sand all along. And as for the lack of work, the Sand has an opportunity to show the world how powerful our shinobi really are. Now, crackle back into your hole, Orochimaru. I have a village to run. Rasa disappeared into the wind, followed by his bodyguards as Orochimaru shouted in anger. Rasa didn't know much about Orochimaru's organization, but he was still privy to many secrets that Orochimaru shared with him, believing that it didn't matter because he would be dead soon. Luckily for Orochimaru, Rasa only knew the locations of the nearest hideouts and a rough estimate of Orochimaru's manpower. Based on their plan of attacking the Leaf, he still did not know that the Hidden Sound Village was secretly a series of laboratories and barracks in which Orochimaru is the leader and organizer. All of Orochimaru's allies in the nearest hideouts would need to abandon it to crowd the hideouts in the northeast. As he began to make a shameful journey to warn his allies, Orochimaru began planning a long-term attempt to claim his secrecy back. The Sun Ninja and Kabuto's team never entered the Chunin exams, and Orochimaru never entered the Forest of Death, all because Orochimaru failed to execute the assassination, and therefore abandoned his plan to attack the Leaf. This left Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura finishing the Forest of Death much quicker, because they never fought Orochimaru. Sasuke didn't receive a curse mark, and Orochimaru didn't seal Naruto. Also, because 2 teams were different, a random place that each team entered was different, making some groups luckier than others. This also led to the matchups in the preliminaries being much different. Let's go, Hinata! You got this, you know? Naruto cheered, almost jumping over the railing in excitement. You can do it, Ino! Sakura cheers as inner Sakura shouted, Ja! Hinata, you can beat this pig! Just as Hinata began to blush, she ducked under a wild haymaker by Ino to deliver a gentle fist strike to her stomach. The fight began with Hinata anticipating the mind transfer jutsu by staying back and preparing to dodge if Ino attempts to send her consciousness into her. Ino knew that the time in which her body would be limp would be more than enough for a Hyuga to cause the fight-ending damage. Hinata may even be able to see her consciousness coming with her Byakugan. For this reason, the fight devolved into pure taijutsu. The third attack by Hinata's gentle fist was too much, toppling Ino and winning the match. Kurenai-sensei returned to the preliminary room just in time to join the cheering of her student. As Hinata walked with her back to the stands and with the rest of the Leaf Shinobi. How is Shino? Did they neutralize the poison yet? Kakashi asked Kurenai. Not yet. He'll be fine eventually, but whatever poison that Rain Genin used is quite powerful. Luckily for Shino, his opponent passed out from the lack of chakra first, so they are declaring it as a win for Shino instead of a draw. In the fight, Shino's beetles had secretly attached themselves to the Rain Ninja, slowly stealing his chakra. Unfortunately, while Shino attempted to stall the match to give his insects some time to feast, he was cut by a stray needle with some poison unknown to the Leaf medical ninja. After hearing Kurenai say this, Naruto glared at the 2 Genin from the Hidden Rain. So far, Neji defeated Choji, Shino defeated Bayo of the Rain, Lee defeated Tamari of the Sand, and Hinata defeated Ino. That left the 2 men from the Sand. Naruto's team, 2 Genin from the village hidden in the rain, Kiba, Tenten, and Shikamaru. His odds of fighting one of the sand or rain jerks were very high at this point, and with that the screen began to select 2 names from the remaining genin randomly. The tension was thick in the air, with so many powerful shinobi left. Everybody in the room watched the screen as it ran through the names of what seemed like forever. Finally, the screen settled with a loud ping. Sakura Haruno versus Sasuke Uchiha. A silence fell over the leaf shinobi. Even the sand and rain genin seemed taken aback. Without a word, Sasuke hopped over the railing and walked into his position to fight. Sakura held her fists by her chest as she refused to move. She looked up at Kakashi, who spoke before Sakura was able to formulate a thought. You need to learn how to do what you must, despite your emotions. You're a shinobi first. This took Sakura back for a minute. Even if she wanted to fight, she knew that she would get destroyed. What if I can't? She asked bluntly. Kakashi turned to her, eyes closed and smiling big enough to see through his mask. Then you can feel free to quit being a shinobi. Sakura looked at the rest of the genin, but they all averted their gaze to look down. They knew how hard this was going to be for her. She walked purposely slow, down the stairs and over the exam proctor. Let the 5th match between Sasuke Uchiha and Sakura Haruno begin, he said, lowering his hand. Sasuke aggressively ran at Sakura with a kick to the head. Sakura blocked it with her arm, but the force still almost made her lose her balance. She jumped backwards, hoping to put some distance between the two of them, but Sasuke followed, activating his Sharingan. Sakura half-heartedly tried to throw a punch, but Sasuke easily caught her hand and flipped her over himself, slamming her onto the concrete. She rolled away from him, and to her surprise, he didn't follow. She thought for a moment that he was giving her a chance to give up, but until she saw him beginning to make hand seals. She closed her eyes and swallowed hard before whispering to herself, I'm a shinobi first. Sasuke shot a fireball at Sakura and she jumped out of the way on the wall, where she sternly took her headband off the top of her head and tied it around her forehead. Sasuke followed, joining her on the wall and deactivating his Sharingan before trading blows with her again. Hey! What's the big idea with that fireball? Are you crazy, Sasuke? Naruto screamed. At least she's taking this seriously now, Kakashi said. Huh? What do you mean? Sasuke is talented in most areas, but Sakura has 2 advantages over him. 1, she knows about the ninja fundamentals, which may not come up in a one-on-one fight with someone familiar with your skill set. 2, her chakra control is better. Therefore, if they fight while using chakra control to keep themselves on the wall, Sasuke will use up more chakra than Sakura, as well as more of his focus. He seemed to notice this, which is why he deactivated his Sharingan to save chakra. Right as Kakashi finished his sentence, Sakura took the advantage of Sasuke's split attention by counterpunching him hard in the jaw, causing him to take a few steps backwards. Nearly every jaw in the room dropped. Sasuke growled and activated his Sharingan before going in again. Sakura was no match for his movement and predictions with the Sharingan, but she fought back hard before seeing him disappear for a split second. He reappeared below her and kicked her upwards, which was actually sideways. Naruto recognized this as a move that Rock Lee used against Sasuke at the beginning of the exam. Sakura hit the ground hard and fell into a heap. The winner is Sasuke Uchiha, the proctor claimed. As Sakura collected her thoughts, she heard, although muffled, the proctor shouting and then everyone cheering in the room. As she heard Naruto cheering, she thought it was strange that he would never congratulate Sasuke. Her head poked up to see all of the Leaf Ninja cheering while looking at her. You did awesome, Sakura, Naruto yelled. You did better than I would have, Choji said. Sakura walked to join the others with her head held high, and with that the screen began cycling through the names again. Only 8 genin remain, 2 sand, 2 rain, and 4 leaf. Gaara versus Midoriya. Midoriya's teammates standing next to him looked at the leader of the 3 rain genin. Go show them what you can do. Yeah, I'll go do that, Midoriya said. He looked over at Gaara, who was already on the battlefield, smiling ominously. Man, I thought I felt bad for Sakura, Shikamaru said as he watched the rain genin shuffle down to his starting position. The proctor coughed into his hand. The 6th fight. Wait, did neither of you have last names? Neither of them replied, so he continued. Gaara of the sand and Midoriya of the rain. Begin. Wait, Midoriya shouted. I give up. Everyone muttered to each other in surprise. You, what? Shigure yelled from the stands. I'm sorry, I think I saw him kill someone in the forest. He's crazy. I'm not going to die just for this. Gaara scowled and disappeared into the sand, reappearing back next to his brother and sister. The proctor pinched the bridge of his nose. Okay. I suppose the winner is Gaara of the Sand. The screen immediately began running through the leftover names, now only 6. Naruto, Kiba, Shikamaru, Tenten, Kankuro, and Shigure. Naruto looked up at Kankuro, who smiled back at him devilishly, then over to Shigure, who crossed his arms, and then the screen stopped. Shigure versus Tenten. Shigure made his way down to the mixture of calmness and anger, while Tenten shouted, "Alright!" and hopped over the railing. They both found their way to their starting positions and gave each other a slight bow in respect. Naruto looked at the remaining potential opponents, Kiba, Shikamaru, and Kankuro, before turning his attention to the Procurator. Let the 7th fight, Tenten vs Shigure, begin. Thank you for all indulging yourselves in the story thus far. I hope you've enjoyed it. Now there are a few more things that I'd like to go over before the video ends. Firstly, we've got a primary channel called We the Celestials. We the Celestials is a what if we do here already, but their content centered around the crazy world and lore of My Hero Academia, so please check us out over there if you're feeling in the mood for a rollercoaster of quirky content. We also have another relative to our channel, Anime Deep Dive. Anime Deep Dive goes deep into the facts and laws of a wide variety of anime. It sure is to expand your weeb knowledge of all kinds of series, guaranteed. I'd like to let you all know on behalf of We the Celestials, I'd like to thank everyone involved in production of today's awesome content. Their details will be in the description below. If you're perhaps interested in what we do at We the Celestials, then I would like to extend out an invitation to join the team. The only caveat being that we only accept members 16 and older to join our crew. You can find us on our Discord, which you can locate in the description below. Our Discord is an all-round fantastic place to be. Whether you're a fan or looking to join our band of misfits, all you gotta do is hit up the recruitment server and sign up for whichever category of work that fulfills your interests. We're always looking for members to join us. Well, that's it from us for today's video, so thank you all for watching and have a great day.